This audio theater experience is not just about creating a new piece for the world. It was also to show an example that during this unprecedented time, we can stay active, we can stay creative.
The pandemic hit and there was no more theater. So if you are a theater artist, you really feel the pain there.
With me losing my job earlier this year with Jesus Christ Superstar, it kind of was like, I'm kind of thrown back a little bit. I didn't really know where I belonged because I felt like I belonged on the stage.
I just graduated. I was part of the class of 2020. I just got my degree in musical theater from the University of Northern Colorado. So right when you're on this precipice of starting adulthood and starting your career and have that kind of all just taken away in the blink of an eye.
We in society get so used to the norm. This is how things are, right? And when somebody comes in and disrupts that norm, or a pandemic comes in and disrupts that norm, everything is wiped away. So it's my job to figure out, okay, this is what I know. In what ways can I take what I know and find a morphed version of it, something new?
The whole idea of audio theater experience started actually last year when we were pitching the show to producers.
Bálint realized this was going to be a while and decided, if we're going to be stuck at home, then we're still going to find a way to make theater. And what better way to do this than to all record it remotely.
With an experience like this, because it's not in person and you are listening to it, and because it is immersive, you are at the mercy of your own imagination.
I think it's amazingly brave to take on such a task, and especially to do it in such a way that is going to capture a theatrical experience as if you are sitting in the theatre and surrounded by all this incredible music and amazing effects.
Having the door slam, the plates on the table, the water sip heard, wrestling between the characters, it gives you the experience of being in the room.
It's as much a part of the show when people are going to visualize it from hearing it. And that's my job, is to help them visualize what's going on, visualize the settings, visualize the costumes and the characters.
The show was originally conceived back in 2005, and a couple of years later, we had an opportunity to revive the whole show back in Hungary.
The show was originally in Hungarian. It was a very different show at that point. It had a very different story arc.
We were both intrigued by the idea of turning the Houdini Musical into an English adaptation.
It has evolved a lot. Even the title has changed a couple of times. That includes the relationships between the characters, especially the Houdini brothers and Bess Houdini.
Ever had the notion that there must be something more, carrying a vague dissatisfaction?
I think that this version of Harry Houdini and this musical specifically dives into who Houdini was as a person. We see the humanized version of this historical figure, and it's the back and forth between what it's like to be an inspirational figure in the world, but then how you deal with that in your everyday life.
It wasn't really that hard to relate to Bess and her sadness. We're in the unknown right now, and that's a lot what Bess is feeling during the show.
Like Theo, I am a younger sibling. So when approaching this work, I was able to explore dynamics between being the younger sibling and the older sibling.
Houdini adored his mother. And when Cecilia died in her early 70s of a stroke, Houdini was destroyed. So when I was reading Cecilia's scenes with Houdini and his brother, I was just thinking about this very, very special bond.
I felt like I went through such a period of kind of getting to know Mina. The thing that Bálint and I talked a lot about is her unpredictability, and that in lies her power.
It's a different kind of acting, but also it gives the actor a great training how to express their emotion and develop a character.
One of the key challenges was being able to build relationships with performers.
We have people performing in this from all over the world.
Some actors in Budapest, some actors are in New Zealand or Brazil or New York or New Jersey.
Theater is usually such a collaborative group process, especially when you're just starting a new show.
It is a beautiful thing to be able to record songs and dialogue in my pajamas, but at the same time, I would trade that for being in a rehearsal room.
In acting, it's like you take the line and then you respond to it. You listen to it and you respond, and that is something we didn't have.
There wasn't a rehearsal process where we went through a scene. Bálint had a clear vision of what the scene should be, and so he would share his interpretation. We'd go off and do our own homework and then come in and record.
Bálint was on the phone, and I had my computer opened up with the mic and GarageBand. He sent me the tracks, and then we opened Facebook Messenger and I saw him. So he was like with me in the room when we were recording, so he could give me his input.
This process, I think, has like deepened my creativity and also given me some like bravery to try stuff.
Everyone recorded their parts remotely, so you suddenly receive like 50 tracks. And, you know, they all come from a different background. The sound of the room is different. The recording devices were different types. We just had to deal with a lot of technical aspects, how to put everything together to make it sound seamless.
The first thing that I hope that listeners get out of this audio experience is a moment of joy, a moment of enjoyment.
I think a lot of people in the performance industry that hear this, they're going to see themselves in Harry Houdini. They're going to see themselves in Bess, and they're going to see themselves in Theo as well.
Let the emotions take you, let the story take you, let the music take you.
We can create something. We can create something beautiful under the circumstances that gives people joy and meaning and hope.
We don't get stopped just because a pandemic tells us so. For me personally, it's really his passion.
Our aim is to create a piece of art that feels like it's an incredible experience, that you can't believe what you're hearing. And if we're able to achieve that, then I think we've really done our job.
It's fine.